met a lot of people who have, let's just say, failed miserably in the multi-level marketing business. And then I've met others who, including one gentleman that you introduced me to, who is now making an income of $48,000 approximately a week. Why is it that some people fail so miserably and others succeed so spectacularly when basically, as I understand it, we're all on a level playing field? We start at exactly the same position, right?
Well, everybody is on the same level playing field.
Right.
The problem is, I think with most people, it's mindset. They don't approach it like a job. They don't approach it like a business opportunity. And because in this type of industry, it's not that expensive to get in. Whereas if you were to go out there and buy a Subway franchise, you're going to spend $120,000, $150,000. You're going to make sure you get some return on your investment. You're going to be watching your investment. You're going to be going in there, setting up the training, putting in the systems that they have in place. But for some reason in network marketing, a lot of times people, they don't take it as serious. So that's why you see people that make a lot of money, then you see people that don't make that much money. And over the years, as we've done interviews with some of these people for some of our training, they'll say things like, it's one of those things that just didn't work. And as you start talking to them more and more, you come to find out that they really didn't do anything, or they weren't mentored. There's a couple of different factors there, but most people, it comes down to mindset.
I know I've had people say to me that when they got into it, they said, well, I'll give it a try for 6 months and see if it works. Well, what you're saying, obviously, is people wouldn't do that in a franchise. You wouldn't say, I'll put $50,000 down, I'll try it for 6 months. And so they really are setting themselves up for failure in a way.
They are. They're setting themselves up for failure. And again, it's the attitude that they take when they get in the business. Anthony Robbins, I saw an interview recently where he drew these 4 little boxes and he was talking about, potential leads to action, action leads to results, results lead to belief.
Right, I've seen
But what happens is that when people start off in this business, a lot of people aren't sure of their potential. They may take the wrong action, which in return they don't get very good results. So then their belief starts to change. And then there's those that just get fortunate enough to plug into a system, or they follow the system that they were told to follow. They get a little bit of result, and they start building little by little, and that changes their whole belief system.
All right, this brings me to something else that one of the leaders told me also, is that back in the old style of multi-level marketing, you would sign up as many people as you could and hope that one of them would then go out and make you incredibly wealthy. Whereas it's not like that now. I think how he put it was, when you sponsor someone now, you actually go to work for them.
Exactly. And that's, again, that has to do with the training. It has to do with the mentoring. That's some of the stuff that we teach on Downline University. And you do go to work for them. Because you're in the beginning, and I had a friend of mine just recently on the way over here was talking about, in the beginning when you start a business, you're sprinting. You have to give it a solid 90 days, a solid 6 months to build that strong foundation. And you don't see that a lot of times with people. They seem to leave that out, and sometimes it's the fault of the team that they sign up with. But it's not about going out there and enrolling 1 million people. How are you going to, let's say you went out there and you enrolled 100 people on your own without a system. How are you going to support them?
Right.
They're only going to be as good as you, and it's actually, I take that back, most people aren't going to be as good as you if you brought in 100 people. So they're going to be sitting there wondering, okay, what do I do next? They go to a meeting, they go to a presentation, they watch a DVD, they get all excited, they get all pumped up, then they get home, and then what's the next step? So it's better to sponsor a few people, help them duplicate, and build a strong foundation, and that's how you're going to build a lifetime of income.
People have given me many reasons for their lack of success. The biggest one that I've heard is, I can't sell.
And that's great, because we really don't want salespeople. Salespeople are always looking for a quick buck. This business is built on relationships, and in order to build a long-term residual income, the way you build this business is by sharing. You're sharing the opportunity, you're sharing the product, and again, that's some of the stuff that we train, in our Downline University. We cover a lot of that. Because you don't want someone looking like a used car salesman selling this opportunity, because what's going to happen is that's where people start to get a bad taste, and that's where you get people that'll say, well, it didn't work, because they weren't following the system. You have to follow a system that's already proven, and you'll succeed. And a lot of times salespeople don't do that. They just want to make a quick buck and move on to the next thing.
Right. That line about it didn't work. The best, somebody had told me an analogy about golf. Somebody buying golf clubs, and and really just they sat in the closet the whole time. So at the end of 6 months, you could say golf doesn't work, and yet it works just fine for Tiger Woods.
It works just fine. But just like with golf, any little minor adjustment, 100 yards, 200 yards down the fairway makes a huge difference. And just like like an airplane, when it leaves from Los Angeles to Hawaii, it's always off course, but it's making these little adjustments, but they stay laser focused on where their destination is. And that's what happens with people. And that's the difference between winners and losers. Winners take the first step. Losers make excuses. And when you take the first step, the next step, magically appears, and you just keep going, and you stay focused on that goal.
Do you think anyone can be successful in multi-level marketing? Could you take anyone and make a success of it?
I think so. There's a couple of things that I look for, when I'm bringing people into the business for myself. But as long as they follow the system, and there's different systems nowadays, people are using Web 2.0 technologies, social networking, Facebook. But there's a way that you have to do it. You can't just go on there and post, "Hey, join my opportunity. I'm selling this new product." You might get 1 or 2 people, but you're not going to build a long-term business. So you can train anybody as long as they have the desire to do it.
Well, then that really gets me to the question, it's like any business. Surely you don't want everybody. I mean, people tend to think, I've got to go out there and sign everybody that I meet. It's not really the case, is it? Because there are people that you meet that you wouldn't want to be spending your days with. I mean, negative people, for example, people that you just cannot get over that, this is not going to work.
You can't, because the thing is, in this business, a big part of it is mindset. It's about 90% mindset, the rest of it is actual labor. This isn't a business where in the beginning you're spending 40 hours a week. Now you can do that. I mean, we do that. There's other people that come in and do that. But this business is built in the evenings. It's built a couple hours here, a couple hours there. You start building it up, and then over time, your distributor base grows, and your volume starts to grow from that.